This is the 2021 Subaru Legacy. Now, with all these SUV options to choose from, does it even make sense to consider this all-wheel drive midsize sedan? Let's find out. Back in the 90s, Subaru offered the Legacy in sedan and station wagon body styles. SUVs were starting to take off in popularity, and Subaru decided to experiment by offering the Legacy station wagon in the Outback trim level. Choosing the Outback trim level brought features like a tough-wearing cloth interior and rugged black plastic trim around the wheel arches. A year later, it integrated a suspension lift as well. The rest is history. We've seen how the Outback has become its own super popular vehicle, which has left the Legacy to hold down Subaru's sedan lineup. Now, in MotorTrend's Ultimate Car Rankings, the Legacy is the #2 rated midsize sedan. #1 is going to go to the super popular Honda Accord. But here's the thing. The Accord is offered only with front-wheel drive. If you insist on all-wheel drive, you're gonna have to look elsewhere. The Legacy is one option, but you have a few others, including the Kia K5, the Toyota Camry, and the Nissan Altima. But all-wheel drive is optional on all of those vehicles, standard on the Legacy. Let's talk about the Legacy styling, and frankly, there's not a lot to it. It looks a bit plain, but I won't go so far as to say it looks bad. And actually, as you start to lean in, some of these details stand out. On these LED headlights, this little split kink right here draws the eye in. There's Subaru's signature 6-sided grille with its Constellation logo in the middle, and these bright LED fog lights at the bottom trimmed in chrome. Moving along the side, we see details like these 18-inch black and silver two-tone alloy wheels. One thing that I like in particular are these side mirrors with their little chrome support and that window behind the A-pillar to enhance outside visibility. And along the back, it's pretty basic again, with these features like the black trim taillights and the lack of exhaust tips poking out from the lower rear bumper. So taken as a whole, there's really not a lot to say about the Legacy styling, but maybe that's a good thing. Against some of its more extroverted, wild-styled competitors like the Kia K5 or the Hyundai Sonata, the Legacy's relatively simple design is refreshing. Some drivers might appreciate how it blends in on the road rather than stands out. Inside the Legacy, the impression is pretty similar to the exterior, which is to say, kind of plain, kind of basic, but actually not all that bad. Most of the surfaces you see are finished with soft touch material. I like how nicely padded the armrests are, and most of the hard plastic is hidden down well out of your line of sight. Another thing you'll notice when you get in is these seats. Super comfortable and super adjustable. I love this under thigh support for the driver, and even if you are freakishly tall like me, you'll still have plenty of headroom and legroom. So even if the interior looks kind of plain, it's definitely functional too. Subaru did a good job thinking about packaging and storage inside the Legacy. There are these two nice deep cup holders behind the shifter, as well as this dual layer armrest bin, this little bin ahead of the shifter, a little slot ahead of the passenger for storage, and a smartphone size bin next to the transmission tunnel, as well as bottle-sized holders on either door card. Not to mention, the rear seats fold down in a 60-40 split folding configuration, so if you did need to toss your surfboard or snowboard in the back, you could do it. What stands out most about the Legacy's interior is this touchscreen. It's an 11.6-inch unit mounted in a tablet orientation, and it works okay. It's not going to respond as quick as your smartphone does, nor are its graphics as crisp and sharp as some of the best systems out there. What's nice though is that Subaru still includes hard buttons for common functions, like your temperature control and as well as your volume control. Speaking of the volume, this limited trim car is equipped with a 12-speaker Harman Kardon premium audio system. So even with this eye-catching infotainment setup, the Legacy's interior definitely prioritizes function over form. Most midsize sedan shoppers tend to favor attributes like simplicity, smoothness, and fuel economy rather than outright speed or performance. With its basic engine seen here, the Legacy absolutely adheres to that way of thinking. It's powered by a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated, horizontally opposed 4-cylinder engine, which produces 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque. That's connected to a CVT automatic transmission, and like all Subarus save for the rear-wheel drive BRZ Sports Coupe, standard all-wheel drive. With its basic 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, the Legacy is EPA rated at 27 miles per gallon in the city, 35 miles per gallon on the highway, and thanks to its humongous fuel tank, it can cover over 550 miles in between fill-ups. In MotorTrend testing, this car accelerated from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.1 seconds. Pretty pokey. Here's the thing though, Subaru offers the Legacy with a different engine, the XT. It's a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that bumps power up to 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. And in our testing, that cut a full 2 seconds off the 0 to 60 time, bringing it down to 6.1 seconds flat. Safety is as important for Subaru as all-wheel drive is, and as such, it's no surprise that the Legacy is an exceptionally safe mid-size sedan. From the IIHS, it gets Top Safety Pick Plus designation, which is the highest possible accolade, and from the NHTSA, it gets a 5-star overall crash safety score, which is the best you can get. Like most Subarus, every Legacy comes with the EyeSight suite of driver assist and active safety features. That's a camera-based system. You can see the 2 EyeSight cameras on either side of the rearview mirror. And it includes features like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, and forward collision warning. Pricing for the 2021 Subaru Legacy starts at just under $24,000. The limited trim car next to me goes for just under $31,000. Choosing the limited trim adds features like leather seating upholstery and keyless entry with push-button start. Limited trim is also the highest trim level you can get with the basic naturally aspirated engine. If you want to go for the turbocharged engine, look for the XT badge. Choosing an XT Legacy is going to run you another $4,500, but it's going to get you niceties like a heated steering wheel and a power moonroof, in addition to that extra turbocharged punch. So, how does the Legacy's pricing stack up against the competition? Whether you're looking at an entry-level example or a nicer one like we have here, it's pretty much in line with the rest of the segment. The thing with the rest of the segment is not every vehicle offers all-wheel drive, and if it does, that's gonna be an extra charge. Meanwhile, the Legacy has all-wheel drive standard from the base level all the way to the top. If there's one thing you need to know about the 2021 Subaru Legacy, it's that it's a safe, value-packed, and comfortable mid-size sedan. But those aren't really reasons why people go for a Subaru. People go for a Subaru because its SUVs project a rugged, outdoorsy, active lifestyle type image. That's what makes options like the Outback so popular. And you know what? That's what I would go for. I have a mountain bike, so I need that extra space to toss it in the back. But ask yourself, do you have a kayak? And if you do, how often do you even use it? How many dogs do you have? And even if you have 3 or 4, do you need all that space to chuck them in the back? If not, the Legacy is definitely worth a look. To see vehicle rankings and a complete buyer's guide, head on over to motortrend.com/cars.